Tuesday, June 11th, 2024. I did not catch The View on Friday or Monday because I was having fun. And so I tried to watch Monday's yesterday afternoon. Um, and their first hot topic was about Trump and his stupid speech over the weekend and the sharks and the boat. And what's the point of even talking about that? Like, it's just nonsense. Um, and let's just stop giving his voice air. His voice, it's very difficult to listen to his voice. And then what are you going to say about it? He's a fucking moron and losing his mind. Um, whatever mind he had. So I kind of turned it off, and then I found out later that Ryan Reynolds was sitting in the audience, and so I missed that. I'm sure I still have it recorded. I could probably go back, but that's literally yesterday's news. And today they opened up with these secret recordings that this journalist made of Sam Alito and his wife, and they're claiming to be bombshell recordings. And I have to agree, I do not like the way that these were obtained. She pretended to be like a Christo fascist at some event, and basically was leading them into just trying to agree with whatever weirdo statements she was saying. And I'll tell you, for all the people that complain about the ums and pauses in my videos, her video, you should count the likes. It's a lot of them. Anyway. uh she I just did it again. I don't that's a you know what, it's like a space filler, because you're trying to think of something and you just don't want silence. I did it again. I think it comes from not wanting to be interrupted. You just keep talking. Wow, now I'm gonna notice it a lot. Anyway, so, and I don't think this is such a bombshell piece of information. Leto says that he agrees that we need, more of a godliness in the country, which he's allowed to have that opinion. That doesn't negate his ability to rule in the Supreme Court. The wife is a loon. We knew that. She hates the pride flag. She wants to put up a flag that she's created on her own that says shame in Italian. That's like, who cares? She's an angry fucking loon. She's Karen. She's just a SCOTUS wife, Karen. And but we knew that already. So I don't think that there's anything like bombshell, and there's nothing in there that says that that Alito should be removed from the court. There's enough information about why he should be recused from so many of these cases that he's overseeing or presiding over. That the January 6th case, the documents case, there are reasons why he shouldn't be on those cases. The Clarence Thomas ethics violations and the $4 million of gifts that he's received over his tenure, that should be enough to get him kicked off the court. Why aren't we doing something about that? Isn't there an impeachment process we could actually go through that's part of the Constitution, that we could actually remove these people? At the very least, have the goddamn trial. That's a trial worth having, as opposed to all these sham fucking trials that the House keeps putting up, the Republican held House, about just bullshit. How much time did they waste investigating Hunter Biden's laptop? Who I didn't get to watch the rest of the episode of The View because the news broke that Hunter Biden's verdict came in and he was guilty on all three counts. Not shocking. He checked a box on a gun form that said he wasn't on drugs. And he probably wasn't at the time that he checked the box, but he may have been, later that night. And for a gun that he owned for 11 days and was never even used, and never used in a crime. So he probably won't serve any jail time, but it might affect the sentencing for the later thing because they've got other charges about that whole tax thing. If you remember, this was all going to go away. He was going to take a plea deal, and then the plea deal fell apart. And so now they're just like, guns blazing, going after him. But um, yeah, I don't know that much is going to come out of this. It's so disheartening um, that it's a crime that's usually just never even prosecuted, especially standing on its own. So this is ridiculous. But now at least people can say, you know, it isn't Biden's, court rigging the courts. And if the shoe were on the other foot, Trump would be, pardoning Eric or even Don Jr. In a heartbeat. He'd also be putting some sort of political pressure and probably mobster pressure on anyone who was prosecuting his kids. So, you can't say that both sides are the same. And this is really, we've got two trials. One is the actual candidate for president, and one is the existing president, other candidate's son. Like here, you could draw some parallels to behavior and what each man thinks of the rule of law. So I don't know. The thing that is the most disgusting to me is that these Republicans, lawmakers that have just been so like just drooling over trying to get Hunter Biden on anything, and so they get him on this weird technicality of this jo- gun application, but yet they are unwilling to do anything to make it more difficult for a drug addict or a criminal to get a gun. They want more guns. It's so hypocritical. Like, how many other people have lied on that form? And he's just getting prosecuted because of his last name and who his father is. That's, that one seems pretty obvious. Uh, but, you know, he did check the box wrong, and mistake or not mistake, misleading or not misleading, he's now committed a felony. So um, that's he's been convicted. He will appeal. I, I, I don't know. I don't know when sentencing is going to be, but that it. I feel like at least now we can sort of talk about level playing field a little bit in terms of the justice system not being rigged. But the maggots will never buy any of that anyway. They like their leader to be considered a martyr. So not a great start to the week, but you know, I had a nice long weekend.